Hey y'all, I'm Kayla Ashbrooks, and I currently have the pleasure of serving as student advisor on the Student Leadership Committee for Sigma Tau Delta. In a few moments, you'll hear from several of our wonderful student leaders who are discussing our 2022 Common Reader, Dear Martin by Nick Stone, through the exploration of a series of questions. This week's question leaves room for a little creativity by asking, what kind of Common Reader event might you organize for Dear Martin? I might organize an event inviting people to write a letter to someone from history, whether living or dead. In this letter, they could address a variety of topics, including the history pertaining to that specific individual, or maybe how that individual would respond to some of the current events that we're facing. I think another fun event might be inviting people to create like a Spotify playlist to go along with Dear Martin.
If I were organizing a Common Reader event for Dear Martin, I think I would go with just an old-fashioned book club. I would take as many people as I could and ask them to read this book and then to come prepared with their kind of thoughts and insights into the book, and that we can just all share with each other. I think if we learn one thing from this book, it's that the world is so vast and these issues are so complex that it's not just about one single person or one single experience. And so by taking this book and hearing many people's different thoughts and experiences and insights into it, we can take that and kind of grow our perspective on those kind of things that are in this book.
I think an event that would be really worthwhile for the Common Reader this year would be looking at all of the social justice issues that Dear Martin engages with. Obviously, there is a really strong reflection of racial inequity and police brutality in this text, but there are also some winks and some nods to things like social emotional learning, restorative justice, and I would really love to get a panel full of writers and authors and artists and scholars, have them read this text, and then just kind of sit with the question of, what is this young adult text doing for these issues? How is it exposing young people to really relevant, important, and sometimes really scary conversations to have? And how is it also working towards this common pursuit of liberation and justice for Black Americans?
To organize a Common Reader event for Dear Martin, I would first reach out to Nick Stone, the author, to see if she would be willing and able to host a virtual presentation on her process of writing the book, to share her overall thoughts on the themes and events in the book, or if she would be willing to host a Q&A session with the students on my campus. Now, if you wanted to take any sort of action, if you were inspired to do so by the story, you could organize a letter writing campaign to your state and local representatives, encouraging them to propose reform.
One lesson I drew from Dear Martin is the importance of centering the voices of people of color and collaborating. So I would encourage Sigma Tau Delta chapters to look to and support the efforts of organizations like the Black Student Unions or gun violence advocacy groups on campus before organizing an independent Common Reader event. At my university, different organizations put on Martin Luther King Jr. Week, which is dedicated to community service and preserving Dr. King's legacy. Slam poetry and vision board workshops have traditionally been put on and been very successful, so I would be drawn to sponsoring a similar workshop that would likely be focused on writing letters like justice or poetry that questions our place in Dr. King's legacy and in the post-2020 Black Lives Matter world. A reading of key passages from Dear Martin, a supply drive for youth in the criminal justice system, or an unconventional speech and debate tournament in the spirit of SJ and justice might also be fun ways to interact with the Common Reader.